Welcome to Harbour City Pilates. I'm Eben, and today's class is pitched at an intermediate level, which means you should have at least a passing familiarity with Pilates and or yoga. Alright, let's go. Starting on our feet, slight bend at the knees, and just centering our breathing to begin with. Exhale through the mouth as we press up. Inhale through the nose as we draw that breath deep into the belly. Flatten out the belly as we exhale. Inflate as we draw that breath in. One more. Exhaling fully. And really exaggerating that expansion of the belly as we draw the breath in. We're then going to drop hands and keep that same breathing pattern in through the nose, deep into the belly. As we drop right down into a squat. We're going to sit nice and low. And we're then going to come halfway up for about 3 repetitions. So that's 1. Shoulders back as we do so. Eyes at skull level or above. 3rd one. We're going to hold in the center just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 before straightening out completely. And we're now going to do the top half of those squats. So another 3, just halfway down. Nice and controlled. Keeping knees over toes and shoulders back as we descend. Inhale down. Exhale up. 1 more. And last one. Dropping hands, bringing that stance out nice and wide. We want toes pointing forward, feet at least double shoulder width apart, and our hands are going to come out by our sides. We're dropping down into a skater squat where we slide side to side, staying on that horizontal plane. So you'll notice I'm not coming up through the middle, but I'm staying nice and low. And then I'm going to reach at the end of each one. Back we come, and again, reaching. Getting that full extension before coming over to the other side. And again, right out. Bringing those feet back together. Again, looking for a shoulder width stance. I'll turn side on so you can see what I'm doing. Hands behind head. This time, knees are locked out as we drop into some good mornings. Back stays nice and rigid. All movement is at the hips for this one. 2 more. And 1 more. Holding nice and deep. Keeping that back straight. Legs completely locked out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Up we come. And onto one leg. I'm going to bring the sole of the foot against the inside leg as we then bring hands directly overhead. Still breathing deep into the belly. Dropping the hands and swapping the feet. Keeping that deep, calm breathing pattern. Every breath passes the ribs and comes down into the belly. Alrighty. We should be good to go, ladies and gents. Flat on the mat, and let's begin. We'll start stirring the pot. Hands by our sides for stability, legs nice and straight. We're going to come up to one side, knees come over the chest, and then push back down the other side to full extension. I'm keeping my knees glued together throughout this one. Legs moving as a single limb. As I push through nice circular tucks. Notice that tailbone come up off the ground. As my knees pass over my chest, I'm now going to come back in the opposite direction. One more. before planting feet and coming into some breathing crunches. We're going to exhale up, hold a pause and inhale, and then exhale down. Again, inhaling on the pause. So each time we move, we exhale. Each time we pause, we inhale. Three more. Keeping those eyes directly above us. Remember, we're lifting the skull vertically rather than pulling it forward. Last one. Before I ensure my heels are right up by my buttocks, cross one leg over the other and hit some single leg hip raises. Exhale up, inhale down, looking for a straight line from shoulder to knee at the top of each hip raise, making sure that both hips are activated as we lift. One side's not drooping off just because it's not doing all the work. Three more. Two more. One more this side. Before we swap legs. And keep them coming. Again, ensuring that that heel is right up by the hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, one more. Before we go through that whole cycle again. So, stirring the pot. We'll pick up the pace a little this time. We know what we're doing. Nice, generous range, ensuring those legs are getting that full extension at the bottom of every one. Coming back in the opposite direction. Still keeping that range nice and generous. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And planting feet into our breathing crunches. Exhale up. Ensure our eyes are coming straight up. Inhale on the pause and exhale down. Four more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Crossing the legs over. Ensuring heel is up by a hip. Exhale up and inhale down. Two more. One more. Swapping legs. And exhale up, inhale down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and the last one. Before we then bring those legs up to right angle at the knee, right angle at the hip, and hit some little scissor kicks. So knees are stuck together as we look for a full 180-degree range of motion. Before we straighten out the legs and turn those into larger scissor kicks. All movement from the hip rather than the knee this time. We want those knees locked out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sitting up. We're now going to come into a reverse plank. Hands behind hips, lifting those hips, imagining that lift coming from invisible chains through the top of the thigh bone. It's keeping the base of the hips elevated so we're not compressing the lumbar spine. Again, straight lines are what we're looking for. Shoulder to ankle, nice and straight. So we're not arching up or sagging down. We're just holding that line. 3, 2, and done. We're going to continue planking onto our side, working from our hand this time rather than our elbow. Hand directly beneath shoulder, feet stacked, hips nice and high. Again, I'll give you a choice. If you're feeling brave, we can lift those top limbs just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just hold that plank. The star at the beginning is completely optional, but if you're getting bored with this workout, ratchet it up a notch. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Swapping sides. Again, hand directly beneath shoulder, elevate those hips, and if you're feeling a little ambitious, lift the top limbs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold that plank. Couple, 3, 2, et 1. Down we come. Rolling onto our bellies. We'll switch things up a little. We're going to start with hands out directly in front of us. Legs lay limp for this one. And then starting at the base of the spine, we lock up one joint at a time. Extension rolling up the length of the spine. Keeping hands at shoulder level. You want to feel that extension running from lower spine all the way to the base of the neck. We're then exhaling as we bring our hands all the way down to our waist, keeping that chest elevated throughout. Inhale as we bring the hands back forward. Again, we keep that chest nice and high throughout the range of motion. Three more. 2 more. Last one. This time we're just bringing our hands back to a T and starting at the base of the spine again, unlocking a joint at a time. Feeling that wave of relaxation run up the spine. All the way down before we come up onto our triangle arm base. So for our front plank, we're working from our elbows rather than our hands. Hit that straight line and lift one leg. From here, we just focus on breath. Still in through the nose, out through the mouth. That's it. Keep that breathing nice and calm. The better oxygenated you can stay, the longer you're going to last in these static poses. 3, 2, and swapping legs. Keeping that straight line, making sure bombs aren't creeping up in the air, and our breathing remains calm and relaxed. 3, 2, and back to both feet. Just holding that plank for a final 10 seconds or so. And done. Hands and knees. We're now going to turn those hands around so that fingertips are pointing towards our kneecaps. And exhale as we hit a cat stretch. Inhale as we bring it back. So exhale as we lift the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale as we let the stomach sag forward and lift the skull. Once more. Turn those hands back around. Drop down into child pose. Hands are straight, gentle pressure on the ground through the palms, and hips are sinking low into the floor. I'm then coming back up onto hands and feet, lifting my hips straight up towards the ceiling as I drive my chest towards my feet. Three, two, and dropping the knees. Let the hips slide all the way back down into child pose. Really sinking into the ground this time. Rib cage and hips melting into the mat. We're going to come up onto our knees. Next, hands on the balls of the feet. And we're then just going to lift the hips and let the head roll back. Drop those hips. Hands out in front. Oh, sorry, legs out in front, I should say. Looking for that 90-degree angle between the legs, keeping that leg locked out at the knee as we run fingers down shin. At the same time, top hand reaches directly over the skull. Again, the main point in this one is that we're keeping our leg locked out at the knee. Doesn't matter whether you can touch your toe, it does matter that you get that nice honest stretch of the hamstring. 3, 2, and release. Up we come, and same thing other side. Hand runs down the shin as the other hand comes directly over the skull. Three, 2, and done. Up we come, and our final stretch of the day. Soles of the feet together. Gentle downward pressure on the knees. And then keeping those knees nice and low, we're just going to walk the hands forward as far as possible. Slowly walking those hands back up. And we, my friends, are done. Thanks for tuning in.